drawing on what the real movement is and what it's dedicated to and where it's going, you need to get this book. This guy over. He has a few left. All right. Brother read from chapter 4, and actually, I want to go back to chapter 4. We say all thoughts are one. That's a nice way of saying, in our Holy Chronicles of Science of America, we say all thoughts are one. I'm quoting that to say that's a nice way of saying that the brother stole some of my thunder. So we're going to turn to page 8. Holy Chronicles of Science of America, circumcised, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Ali, by the guidance of his father, his father, God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from the sinful and fallen state of humanity back to the highest plane of life, his father, God Allah. Page 8, chapter 4, Death and Burial of Elizabeth, Matheno's Lessons, the Ministry of Death. We want to go to instruction 17, or instruction 16, instruction 17. Men comprehend the inner life by what they see and do. They come to Allah through ceremonies and forms. This is interesting. And when I earlier gave praise and honors, I said I give honors to Prophet Noble Ali, last prophet of Allah in these days and times. Love made manifest so that men can understand. Make sense? What is that like? In the Bible, that's like what? John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him, right, shall not perish but have everlasting life. Meaning you don't know, the mass of humanity don't know the God within unless it comes physically walking to him on 2 legs.
That's right.
Make sense? But what usually ends up happening? The old Buddha story, where the teacher points at the moon and gets mad at all the students, because all the students are looking at his finger and not the moon. So they begin to worship that man and not see where he's pointing. He's pointing to them. See? So I want to repeat that. Instruction 17. Men comprehend the inner life by what they see and do. They come to Allah through ceremonies and forms. It didn't say we get stuck in them. They come to Allah through ceremonies and forms. Right? So there's a purpose and there's a value to ceremony and form. What do we call that in community building? Customs and traditions. Culture.
That's right.
All culture the world over is based upon the spiritual or religious system of that nation. Going anywhere. That's what it's based on. So when you see, I know people are like, why they walk around and beating hands? Why is their hand up like that all the time? Right? What does that mean? What does that mean? It means a number of things for us as Moorish Americans. Number one, it's a part of our culture. It's a part of our tradition. But it means, outside of knowing that, it's pretty empty unless you know what it means. Right? Well, what does it mean? First and foremost, those 5 fingers represent what we call the highest principles of humanity known to man.
That's right.
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
I was just about to say that.
That ain't true.
Because the flag, the 5 points on the star, represents love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
All right, Brother Shem. Well, what question in the questionnaire tells you that? I want to know if you know.
What?
I'll give you a hint. It's not question 101.
Oh yeah.
Which question is it? Do you know?
What does why?
Uh-oh. You might know it.
Why?
Not why. What?
What does the flag mean?
Close.
Mm.
What do these 5 points represent?
Yeah. What does the flag mean?
That's question 21. Not bad. Good job. All right. So that's what that means. But even more so, or in a general sense, this greeting is a universal greeting of all civilized people all over the world. I've been to places. I was in Philadelphia, and there's a shop next to Black and Noble, right?
That's right.
By this I think he's either Pakistani or Indian, right? And so the brother saw us with our fezzes on, and just out of reflex, my grand sheik said, "What's on, brother?" And threw his hand up, and he immediately threw his hand up. He said, "Oh, you're a Muslim?" He goes, "No, but we all do that too." So it opens doors for you all over the world. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
But then also too generally for us, especially for our people, you know what this means when we're walking around in the meeting and we see each other and put the hand up? It means we mean no harm. Make sense? But that's our thing. You see? That's our thing. What does it mean when we stand on the square, we put up 5 on the left and 2 on the right?
Prayer.
5 hands on the left means that we're about to pray, but what does this mean? Why do we do that?
7.
Why do we stand up when we pray?
Circles.
Not like other Muslims who bow and prostrate. Am I saying that that's something we don't do? I'm not saying that. But why do we stand and pray? Why are we standing on the square? Why do we have 5 fingers on the left and 2 on the right? Okay? Why do we stand that way? Besides the fact, here's what should be obvious to you all. Again, remember, right? There's a Moorish American cultural experience. There's Moorish American cultural heritage. In other words, what we do that other people don't do that distinguishes us as Moorish Americans, right? So that number 1 should already be your first answer. But that's what we do, yes. And that's a very important answer. But outside of that, if you don't know why, then it just becomes something empty to do. Then it becomes lifeless. Then it becomes that empty car, Krishna, that about, where there's no altar fire, there's no spirit in it, there's no life. You see, you don't want that to happen, right? At that point, we do what? We fail to initiate. People's lives fail to be transformed. That's what you end up seeing nowadays in the church a lot of times, isn't it?
Yeah.
People just look the part, but inside you could almost see the filth in the dirt. And you could almost see that they're actually happy with the filth in the dirt. Because we got filth and dirt in our hearts right now too. But ideally, hopefully, we're not happy about it, and we're trying to do something about it, which is why we're here. Okay, so back to the topic. Why 5 on the left, 2 on the right? There's a number of reasons we can talk about. There's a number of things we can present to you. But here's 2 of them. Take a reading from the Holy Quran, More Science of America, chapter 1. My favorite chapter, one of my favorite chapters, Creation and Fall of Man. It says, this is on page 5. Man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yea, he must suffer trials and temptations manifold. But let him know that the cherubim and the seraphim that rule the stations of the sun, and the spirit of the mighty Allah who rules the solar stars are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory. Now let's skip to chapter 11, another one of my favorite chapters. Chapter 11, this should be page 18. Or yes, page 18. Instruction number 19. From Allah's own record book we read, the triune Allah breathed forth and 7 spirits stood before his face. The Hebrews called these 7 spirits Elohim. And these are they who in their boundless power created everything that is or was. Let me pause right there. How many of you are familiar with Genesis 1st chapter 26 verse? If you read it in the original Aramaic, it doesn't say and God said. It says and Elohim said. Let us make man. Why does it say us plurality?
Huh?
God had multiple personality syndrome?
Huh?
Right? It says us because there were 7. That's why. Let us make man in our image and after our likeness. See, that instruction on page 18, chapter 11, corresponds with Genesis 1st chapter 26 verse. Make sense? You all follow me? All right. Verse 21, these spirits of the eternal law moved on the face of boundless space, and 7 ethers were in each. Every ether had its form of light. We don't have to go any further. But the point being is that the 7 Elohim are 7 emanations from the triune Allah that created the fabric of space and matter, whereby which life can manifest. But the one special thought of Allah that held all the potencies of Allah himself is what thought? Man. And so to this day, these 7 forces are not just, if they're guiding us, as we read about in chapter 1, and leading us to victory, that means they're working on us at this very moment. And again, as the brother read through chapter 4, men come to Allah through ceremonies and forms. We come to know the inner self by what we see and do, or the inner life of what we see and do. So when I do this, it reminds me of what's going on as I speak, whether I realize it every day or not. Those 7 forces, those 7 personalities of the Godhead are working on it. You see? They're working on it. In addition to 5, right? To 5 principles, conduct controlling principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. But the first of those principles is love, right? Then we also have wisdom and will. We learn that the triune Allah is wisdom, will, and love.
Break it down.
See, this is why we